Barbara McQuade is a former U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan. She's now a professor at the University of Michigan Law School, and she joins me now. I asked Laura this question, but I want to ask you, Barb, what, as you read this indictment, is the biggest peril? What poses the biggest legal peril to Donald Trump?
Well, I think this detail of obstruction of justice about what the boss wants is incredibly important. As Laura said, prosecutors refer to this as consciousness of guilt. You know, Donald Trump's defense throughout this whole thing has been, I had every right to hold on to those documents. If that were true, there would be no need to destroy video of people moving these boxes around. And so this really hits home with this obstruction of justice charge. Certainly the addition of the Bedminster document is interesting, but it was already in the indictment. So I think this new obstruction is really fascinating. And you know, it would be useful perhaps to have the new defendant flip, but I don't think it's necessary that with this employee number 4, who clearly was, you know, in the closet with him and heard what he had to say. And so I think this is just really powerful evidence that makes that obstruction of justice scheme really, it seems to me, very difficult to defend against.
Now, we didn't expect this today. Maybe you were, Barb, you could tell us, but most of us were not expecting this today. There's one specific document, this Iran war plan document that's in here, but there are, of course, a number of other documents that are listed in the original indictment and were listed again here that are classified documents. Do you think this is the last superseding indictment, or could there be more that Jack Smith and his team and the grand jury could be considering?
You never know. I've had cases I've seen go up to, like, 7th superseding indictment. But I think in this case, there might be a reason to refrain from doing that, even if you thought you could keep adding more evidence. And that's the clock, because every time you supersede, there is an argument by the defense that that should push out the trial date. We'll see if Donald Trump tries to do that, because we just got that May trial date from the judge in this case, which struck me as a rather reasonable amount of time. But now with a new defendant who's got to get his lawyer up to speed, and Donald Trump will say, these are new facts, new allegations, we're going to have to obtain more discovery about all of this. There is a reason to kick that date down the road. And so every time you supersede, there is that risk of extending the trial date. And in this case, unique to this case, is on the other end is, of course, the election. And I think prosecutors have to be cognizant that that is a really ticking clock out there.
So it sounds like they could make an argument to extend the trial date past the May date that Aileen Cannon just set. Do you think that's something we could hear more about soon? Could that be an ask that the Trump team is going to Cannon with in the coming days? Or how quickly does that happen?
I think they'll wait for the arraignment of the new defendant first, which will likely take place soon, I would imagine. And then shortly after that date, it would seem appropriate for the parties to ask to reset dates in this case in light of additional discovery and that defendant's ability to get up to speed. So I would say after the arraignment, I think we should expect in a short period of time a request for additional time.
So we were waiting for news on a different indictment, of course, this morning, which we didn't receive. We received this instead. How does this impact, or does it impact at all, the timeline of the indictment on the effort to overturn the election and Donald Trump's involvement in that?
I don't think it impacts the indictment that may be filed, which, I think is a real certainty that it's coming. My guess is it's probably not coming until after those remaining witnesses testify, who are scheduled for August. So I'm a little less inclined to think it's coming in the next couple of days. But I do think there is some significance to the timing here. So if the trial date in the Mar-a-Lago case gets pushed out to, say, June or July, I think this one probably trails behind. And so every time something like this happens, we could see the January 6th trial getting pushed into late summer, early fall of 2024. And, at some point, the arguments that we're too close to an election actually has some merit. And so I think the prosecutors need to keep the heat on and get these indictments filed.